Hello everyone, Crash here with RTA Motorsports. Today we're not going to be messing around with our sim rig at all. What we're going to be doing is actually having some fun with our 2018 ZL1. We're going to be installing some mods that I've been kind of collecting and wanting to do. Some of which are going to be functional, some of which are just going to be for appearance. Now I do want to let you all know our SD card somehow became corrupt and I lost a lot of the video footage. This video has been a long time coming. And so we're going to revisit something. So this video is going to have some, time travel in it, but hopefully it all makes sense and you could all follow along, and I hope you enjoy.
Welcome to RTA Motorsports.
All right, so before we attempt this light, a few things I want to go over. I just did the other side. And this is actually the light itself. Looks kind of smoked, kind of like the stock 1 LE taillights. It's actually really nice. You don't see any of the LED diodes in there. You kind of see a little hint of yellow. It's very, very hard to see for the front ones. But besides that, it's super clean look, and it's actually going to match all of the lights that we're going to be having here. So none are going to be smoked out as far as like tint, and then others are going to be gray like the 1 LE tail lights and the third brake light that we're going to install. So they're all going to match really well. This plug design here, it's actually a lot of them sort of use this method, but this one here, it's all external. This one, it actually plugs into the little housing that the bulb actually uses. So you take the bulb out and you plug this in place of the bulb, and then plug the OEM connector back into the harness. Some other light companies, they take that housing and they actually clip it into the housing here, so that way it's all sealed. This one, it's still left a little external, but as I'm looking at it, they did put some glue in the back there, and I'm not really sure that it's going to be getting wet at all. Some of the other LED lights out there may look a little bit cleaner. These here, I don't know. It says DOT on there. It does give their number, their DOT number, and I don't really see a problem with them appearance-wise at all. But I know there's some other brands that are super expensive, maybe 2 to 3 times the cost. So that's what really sparked my interest to these. The other side fit in perfectly fine. One thing I do want to say, when you are first installing these lights, you're going to want to just plug it in and then unlock your car, so that way the running lights come on and you can make sure it's the right one, because almost all of the side markers on this car are interchangeable except from side to side. So you could accidentally put a front for the other corner on the rear of this side. And that'll make sense in just a little bit. So you want to plug it in and make sure that you have the right one here before you get it all buttoned up, or else you may have to do double the work. All right, so let's get on the car and start installing. Now the goal is, we have these 2 little clips here on the back, is to be able to reach our arm up on the inside of the fender, depress these clips in, and then just be able to push out the stock light. All right, so now that I have the metal pulled back, I'm just gonna try to wiggle my arm up in there until I can get my hand safely behind the light. It takes a little bit of repositioning here and there, but eventually I'll get my arm up. So now I have my arm up behind the light and I can actually feel the clips. There we go. Okay, so now that we have the bottom clip free, I'm going to kind of go through, I do have the extensions here on the rear, but right at where the top of the clip is here, or where the top clip is, I should be able to fit my finger in, or a flat screwdriver, between the extension, under the wheel well, and right to that clip. It's actually really close, maybe about 1.5 inches, 2 inches behind the fender here. And then I should be able to push down, and if it's a little bit too jammed, I'm just going to use this flat screwdriver, and we're going to try to work it to get that clip free. All right, so that took a little bit of work of working it out, trying to get my finger back there, but finally we were able to depress it enough to actually get it out. Honestly, some people, they just depress the bottom one and then they try to pull it straight out without scratching the top here. Other people, they take the wheel off and just go through the wheel well. That's probably the most safest and effective way. This way here, this is my first way of doing it. Probably be the last time I'll do it this way. But it saved me from having to take the wheel and tire off. It probably was a little bit quicker because I had to try to get my finger back there to depress this down enough to actually pull it out, but it does work that way. So from here, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna depress this clip. We're gonna push this out. And now this housing, this gray one, this is what holds the bulb. You twist. And there you go. Now you have your bulb. We're gonna take the new piece, we're gonna take the bulb off. So you just twist. Actually, just pull straight out. I'm a liar. Ooh, this one had some issues going on. What the heck? Looks a little melted there. No, it just looks dirty. Let me clean this out first. I don't know how the heck mud and dirt got in there, but definitely looks like mud and dirt without a doubt got in there. That is a little strange and concerning. Okay, so interestingly enough, my stock housing, I can't see where it would be, but I'm guessing it's cracked somewhere because quite a bit of water, like it's still kind of dripping there, is coming out of it. Yeah, you can see the back is kind of wet there. But yeah, so this was probably gonna have to happen soon anyway. I just cleaned out the plug as much as I could. I think the water was just going through the housing, puddling up around the bulb and then going into the plug itself. And being that it didn't have anywhere else to go because this has a seal, it was just pooling up in the plug. So I'm glad nothing bad happened there. This plug here for the new light just plugs in place of the bulb into the stock housing. From there, we plug this back into this harness, and that's it. That just stays out like that. This has some glue in there to seal it off. You push the harness back in. But you know what I'm gonna do in this case? I think I'm gonna wrap this. I don't know if it's really necessary, being that if water does splash on it, it's not going to be sitting there. It's just going to kind of fall right off. But I think I'm going to wrap this with black tape. Some electrical tape, just to cover it up. Okay, so you push the wire harness in, and then you just line up basically the cutout with the shape of the bulb. Before you clip it in, I highly recommend doing this first. Let's make sure this is the right one. So we're gonna unlock the car. It's glowing red. Fits in that cutout there. We're just gonna line it up with the clips. Push it all the way until we hear it clip. There we go. Oh man, that looks a lot better than it did before. I really like how it has that ghosted sort of smoked look that's going to match the other lights as well. Okay, so now we're going to move to the front wheels, and what you're going to want to do is take a Torx T10, turn your wheel to the opposite direction so that way you have access, and you just want to remove, I'm just guessing we're only going to have to remove 2 of these bolts here. We'll kind of play around with it and see how it works out for us, but we're going to remove 2 of these Torx screws, and then that should give us access behind this light right here. And just kind of peel back the wheel well. And there you go. It's going to be the same thing, same 2 clips, top and bottom. There's the bottom one. There's the top one. And there's the housing. And that's it. Super quick, super easy. This one here, the wire harness is nowhere near as long as it is on the rear. So it looks like we're gonna have to remove it while it's still in the fender. But we do have enough room back here that we could see everything We can even pull it through this way if we want to work on it, or tape, or, well, we really can't because we wouldn't be able to put the light back in, but you kind of get the idea. Could definitely fit our hands back here if we needed to. So we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to untwist the bulb. We're going to remove the bulb. We're going to take our new light. We're going to plug it in place of the bulb. Now I already did this on the rears. I'm going to be doing it on the fronts too. I'm electrical taping the housing the part of the housing that would normally be inside of the OEM bulbs. So basically from here forward, I'm just electrical taping that just to keep it somewhat sealed as much as I possibly can. But let's plug it in and make sure that we have the correct one. At this point we should. We already have both of the rears done. These should just be the fronts at this point. But I like to check just to make sure. Let's unlock the car. Boom. Oh, that one's actually really bright. All right, so I'm gonna tape it up and then we'll push it in. So at this point, I'm just gonna feed the housing back in. Make sure the wire harness is in there. There you go. Looks awesome. Let's try it one more time. Boom. Oh man, I can't believe I haven't done this mod earlier. All right, I'm gonna go do the other side and then we'll go on to the third brake light. All right everyone, so we're gonna be installing the third brake light. This is the GM smoked brake light. It also is going to match the smoked brake lights that we have directly from GM as well. When we upgraded these, we didn't quite get this at the time. I did watch quite a few installation videos online. It seems like the proper way to do it. Ooh, this thing's gonna look nice. The proper way to do it would be to remove the 4 clips here on the back, the 4 screws, by removing the trunk liner and then breaking the seal. You can see the light blue on the back there. Actually, I had to move the camera in. It just started raining outside. So you can kind of see the light blue edge there. That's actually the double-sided sticky tape that the OEM, it's a foam sticky tape to seal water out, that the OEM version comes with. Some of the aftermarket versions come with it. Some of the cheaper aftermarket versions do not. It's not something you can't get and source on your own. Wildhammer Motorsports actually had a good deal on the stock one, so I just kind of went with the GM version, especially being that we have the GM brake lights already. It's going to be a direct match. So in watching all these videos, I actually watched Lethal Camaro. He was basically able to pry off the light with a plastic trim tool, just by breaking away the double-sided sticky tape on the outside. We'll give that a try. If that doesn't work, we will resort to removing the trunk liner, which really doesn't take long, and just removing these 4 screws here and their clips. All right, so here we go. All right, so pretty much I'm just gonna stab down and try to break that foam away from the light and just work my way all the way around, and we'll see if it comes out fairly easily. There it goes. Actually, that wasn't too bad. There is quite a bit of foam tape still left on the back of the trunk that I'm going to have to address. Probably a little goo gun, maybe a heat gun. Shouldn't take too long. Alright, stock light is out. Not too bad at all. You can see the foam tape on the back there. And we have pretty much an equal amount on the back of the trunk that we're going to have to clean off. So I'm just going to grab some goo gun and we'll get that settled. Alright, so we removed the blue tape and now we're going to install it in the trunk lid. Here we go. So just, you want to remember to, once you get that goo gun on there, you're going to want to remove all of it that you can. We wiped down the trunk lid, tried to get off all the residue that was maybe left behind, and we made sure that we wiped the opening. Once we got all the foam off, we cleaned it thoroughly. You don't want any of that goo gun staying there. and possibly compromising the new foam sealant that we have here. So let's plug in the new one. Let's press it in. So those clips are actually going to help me kind of clip it into the trunk. There we go. And let's press the adhesive in to the trunk lid. Ensure that it is grabbing all the way around. Oh wow. Yeah, that looks so much better than before with the mismatching.
We about to turn it on.
Alright, so we're all done, and I do gotta say I'm very pleased with the results with everything so far. This is the GM smoke taillight, kind of what's stock on the 1LE, and this was kind of a long time coming. We had these taillights on for quite a bit, but yet we tinted our stock side markers and third brake light. Never really matched, always kind of irked me a little bit. So this mod was really a long time coming. You can see how the light looks when the light is off, and then how it matches the new third brake light. And then if we come around to the side here, you can see here how you have that gray appearance, that same smoked look on the side markers as well. Definitely not an expensive mod at all. These side markers, I don't know how they're gonna last up in the long run. Their plug kind of leaving it a little bit exposed like that is not really ideal in my eyes. I know there's some other side markers that you would then take that plug and put it into its housing, much like the stock ones do, so it's still covered. But you saw that my stock one was, I don't know where, but it was leaking. It was actually cracked. I'm not exactly sure where it is or why it was holding water, but it was, unfortunately. So we covered it, we put some electrical tape on it, but you know, whether or not that's ever going to cause issues down the line remains to be seen. These were only 39 bucks. Purchased them off of Amazon. I'll post them in the link below. The quality of the light itself feels appropriate for the price. The light output's actually super bright, considering the price itself. I was actually expecting it not to look that bright, and it does look really cool, being that it is a line of LEDs as opposed to just one single spot of a bulb in the middle. So I'm really digging these lights for the price, but I'll let you know if in the long run if the lights eventually fail or not. They are on the cheaper end for the aftermarket ones, but so far I'm impressed. The fitment was actually really good. So everyone, let me know what you think of these mods in the comments box below, and if you want to see more videos of our 18 ZL1, definitely let me know. We are going to be taking it to Leguna Seca in oh man, less than a month now. It's going to be awesome. There's definitely going to be some video coverage of that, and yeah, I'm going to be going with my good friend Jesse, as well as one of his friends, and they were both driving coaches together years past, so they definitely have a lot of track experience. I have sim racing experience, but let's see how that actually transfers into the track in real life, and whether or not we could actually hang with them. There's going to be a few other visual mods that we're going to be doing. One of them is actually going to be a front splitter and a rear diffuser. I don't know how functional those are going to be. The front splitter, it does claim that it does have quite a bit of function to it, but we have never actually tracked this car, so I can't really say we're going to be able to compare that. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Here we go. Stay tuned. See you all next time.